T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Movies and Beyond. Once again, I am Michael, and today it's Sunday. With me here, as always, is Mad Matt from Mad Matt's Mass. What is up, my friend?
Michael, man, I'm excited to be here. We are diving into a franchise that, aside from, your juggernauts, Halloween, Friday the 13th, man, this is right on their tail for me, man. It's a franchise that came along at a time where horror desperately needed something like this. So, buddy, I'm excited, and yes, it's Sunday. Back with you, good people talking horror. Glad to be here, man. Glad to be here.
Let's not forget that not only is it a series of a couple different movies, but it's also a horror like almost not a multiverse, but a universe, right? So, you get multiple movies, kind of like a horror Marvel almost. You know what I mean? You've got like multiple movies with, different villains and different heroes, but they're all connected and intertwined, kind of like the Marvel universe is, but it's for horror.
And it's cool you say that, because I can't get on the wagon with like the Spider-Verse and all that. Right. It seems cool, just not my thing. So yeah, I guess I got my own multiverse with the Conjuring. So I'll take.
And then I don't know if you remember, but a few months back when I was reading that news article to everyone, we saw that there's another horror multiverse or universe coming out. You remember it was called like The Haunted or something, and that was like the working title. They weren't really sure yet, what the title was going to be, but yet it was going to be a series of stories that were all intertwined as well, and it was from the creator of The Conjuring.
Okay, yes.
So I mean, I haven't heard anything else about that, but that is definitely on my radar, because out of all the articles that we read, I found that one to be one of the most interesting, because it was just like, oh wow, we're getting more of this shit. You know what I mean?
It's like, could this spark something? You know what I mean? Maybe other franchises try to do, some tie-in movies, and yeah, I mean, I don't know, but well,
because you look at all the other horror stuff, and you've got like, I mean, just the Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Nightmare on Elm Street 1, Friday the 13th 2, Friday the 13th 3, because they're all just sequels to movies, that intertwine. But with these, it's just like Iron Man, Spider-Man, freaking Thor, it's just all intertwined that way, to where they all come together, because you see multiple of the same characters in other movies. Like you look at Annabelle, they're looking at the picture, and Valak's in the background. You know what I mean?
I love that stuff too.
And you look at Annabelle, and the Warrens are in it. And then The Conjuring has Annabelle in it and Valak. You know what I mean? It's just, dude, it's so much fun with this. And I'm sure we're not the only ones that think so. Let's see who we have in the chat tonight. And let's say what's up to everybody. I've been looking forward to this part.
I get paused.
Sorry about that. I disconnected. Fun times. You guys hear me okay?
I hear you.
All right. Well, that was fun. That's a first.
How about me? Can
Yeah,
you hear me?
here. Let's see how this works out tonight because that's the first time it's ever happened to me. Anyway, like I was trying to say before, Jerry Wilson's in the chat saying, hello, everyone. I hope everyone had a great and horrifying weekend. What is up, Jerry?
Good to see you, Jerry. Good to see you, buddy.
Jacob Ware's in the chat saying, what's up, guys? What's up, Jacob?
How you doing, Jacob?
Val from Val's Views is in the chat, aka the General, who always gets the salute from Movies and Beyond. What is up, Val? And Val is saying, good evening, y'all. I'm so excited for this one. The Conjuring Universe is my favorite in the possession genre.
Wow, I like that. I like that.
Man. I love these movies. All right, let's see who else do we have in the chat. Polar's in the chat saying, happy Sunday, all. What is up, Polar?
Hello, Polar. Good to see you on here.
Lydia is also in the chat, but she hasn't said a blanket to hello, but she has greeted everyone else that has come in. And I want to say what's up to Lydia in the chat, our newest mod, doing her job in the chat, saying what's up to everyone. What is up, Lydia?
That's awesome. Hello, Lydia.
And the Horror Corner's in the chat saying, hi, what is up, man?
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Good to see you, Horror Corner. Good to see you.
And he is also saying, sorry, I haven't been in here in a while, but my chat has not been working. That's all right, man. We get it. It's cool. We're happy to have you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very happy to have you.
Let's see. Who else? Rochelle's in the chat saying, hi, everyone. What is up, Rochelle?
Nice to have you, Rochelle. Welcome.
And I think that, uh-oh. And the Shape, aka James, has entered the chat. The Shape is saying, hope everybody is having a ghoulish evening tonight. What is up, my man?
The Shape, welcome. I mean, dude.
That says it all, right?
I feel honored. Like, dude, yeah.
Michael himself.
Yeah.
Now somebody just needs to come in as Loomis and we can watch their conversation.
I might have a heart attack.
That'd be awesome. Russell Dorsey's in the chat saying, what's up, everyone? I smashed that like button before I came in this awesome stream and chat. Happy Sunday, everyone. What is up, Russell?
Russell, good to see you, man. It's always good to see you and get to chat with you on Sunday, man.
And Russell, by now, I feel like you probably have finished the Clone Wars. So just give me a thumbs up or thumbs down in the chat. Let me know what you thought of that. Sure. Let's see. Who else do we have?
Russell's diehard passionate about this stuff. I love it, man.
Andrea's in the chat. Andrea Mosel saying, hi from Indiana. What's up, Andrea?
Yeah, welcome, Andrea. Welcome.
Callie's in the chat saying, hi, everyone. What is up, Callie? Katie from Popping the Popcorn is in the chat saying, hi, friends. What is up? Katie, another one of my mods. We have great mods, and all four mods are here tonight, which is fantastic. You know, we have Val, we have Polar, we have Katie, and we have Lydia monitoring the chat for us tonight. It's always great when we have everybody here. That always makes me happy.
Yeah, and sorry, this just hit me. I'm old, and it takes me a minute. But yeah, Andrea, I got to meet her this weekend at the shop, and thanks for coming on. It's going to be a great show, but I appreciate you stopping by for sure.
Awesome. Katie is reminding everyone, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And I couldn't agree with her more for that. And something that I'm really bad about is when I put these thumbnails up, I'm going to try to let everybody know, because the earlier we get the thumbs up, the more YouTube's going to push that algorithm out to where when people click on YouTube and it's a live show, that we will actually show up to people who've never been here before to see the shit show that ensues between me and Matt here. And you know, we want to get this out to other people, because for the simple fact that I love our horror community, man, and there are always people out there like us looking for a place that they fit in and can hang out and talk about the things that they like, right?
Absolutely.
So I will get better at notifying everybody about that. And then we will be moving on, because the Shape has something else to say. James is saying, great to see you again, Matt and Mike. What is up, my man?
Always great to see you, James. Always great to see you. I love that picture you got there, James. That is gnarly. That is
He got it.
gnarly.
He definitely got a good one there, didn't he? The horror corner is saying, who else saw the Nun 2 trailer and the Exorcist trailer and the Five Nights at Freddy's trailer?
I've seen them.
I, I
I've
saw
seen
the
them.
Nun 2. I saw the Exorcist, but I don't think I saw the Five Nights at Freddy's. So, yeah.
Now, Five Nights at Freddy, if I'm not mistaken, has the guy from the Hunger Games in it. I don't know names as well as you guys. God, you know what I'm talking about?
What's that now?
Gosh, what is his? Five Nights at Freddy has the guy from the Hunger Games.
Isn't Matthew Lillard in it too?
Yes, Matthew Lillard is in Five Nights at Freddy. But the trailer looks pretty good, and I'm going in blind. I don't know a thing about Five Nights at Freddy.
I know a lot of people like to talk about it.
They do. I'm going in completely blind, but the trailer looks like they put their. It looks well made. Like I'll say that, right off the bat. But,
definitely, I would, in a little bit, I do want to get into what we think of the Nun 2. Before we do our rankings, we'll talk about that. Maybe right after we come back from, the intro. I would like to talk a little bit about the Nun 2, especially because it relates to tonight. And then, maybe before we wrap up tonight, we can see what everybody thought about, the Exorcist trailer and, what kind of feelings it gave for them too, because I'm curious to see what everybody else thought about that. Because obviously I had my opinions. Matt, me and you talked a little bit about it yesterday. When we were watching the fights, we did talk a little bit about the Exorcist too, and it's just something I'd like to see what everybody else thinks about that for sure.
I also wouldn't mind to dive into what people thought of the original Nun, because from who I've talked to, it's all over the board, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure we'll get to it tonight when we're ranking these movies,
on.
and where I know that. Well, actually, I'll hold that off because I do know some things about the Nun that probably everybody else doesn't know, and how we feel about some of these movies. But I'm going to keep that for the ranking, and then we can get into that for sure. Rochelle is saying, "Hi, Michael. You guys rock, and hi, everyone." Thanks, Rochelle. Appreciate that. Mad Mom, aka Teresa Stevens. Hello to all of you horror buddies. Happy Sunday. So I smashed that like button yesterday. See, that's what I'm talking about, Teresa. I learned that if you hit the like button before the show airs, it helps out the channel a lot. Thank you so much, Teresa.
I learned that as well. I'm still a beginner, but yeah, guys, smash that like button. It is very important. And love you, Mom. Good to see you on here always.
Yeah. Val was saying, I think it was called A Haunting. I think Haunting in Connecticut was part of it. I don't think so, because I think it was called The Haunted. If you're talking about the article that we were talking about, they were talking about starting a whole new series, like a whole new universe, that didn't intertwine with The Conjuring, but was of that genre. I could be wrong, but I'll look up the article and double check it, but I'm pretty sure that it was something totally new. And that's
either way, out of the blue, I enjoyed The Haunting in Connecticut.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I liked it too. Russell was saying that Valak got Michael. That must be when I disconnected. It could have been.
What? Valak got Michael?
Yeah, when I disconnected.
I
disappeared for a minute there.
I got you.
Yeah, definitely.
She's a sneaky bee, man.
Russell is also saying, yes, I finished the Clone Wars, the animated TV series. I don't get on Instagram. That's cool, dude, but you gave it the thumbs up, and I knew that you definitely would for sure, because that's killing it, man. Love that series. DJ Hootie Hoo, good night. Good Sunday night. What is up, DJ? What is up?
Hello, DJ.
All right, I think that we've got Michaela's in the chat giving a thumbs up. What is going on, Michaela?
Hello, Michaela.
And I think that we got we got one more that has popped in here. John has jumped in the chat saying, what's up, guys? Sorry we're late. Just left the zoo.
No worries, John. No worries, man. Good to see you on here, buddy.
Just glad that you're here for sure. For sure. But I do want to take this while we are caught up in the chat for now. I do want to take a quick second to give a shout out to all my Patreon members. And I always like to do that for all the Patreon members. If you are a member of Patreon, you know how much fun we have over there with, all the other little shenanigans that we do. And if you are interested in becoming a Patreon member, it is at www.patreon.com/moviesandbeyond. There is a subscription for everyone, and it's very easy to join in and all the cool stuff we're doing over there, especially one of the ones that really gets to me. We have a show over there called Real or Fake, and this is probably the funnest one that we're doing over there right now, to where we go through. I'll find a paranormal video, I'll throw it up there, and we'll kind of break it down together in the comments and everything, and find out if we think that it's possibly real or if we think it was fake. And it's always a great time to do that. But let me give a shout out to my Patreon members that are already members of Patreon. All right, I love that every time, man. You are right, dude, about that music.
I do too.
I need to try to find a way to incorporate that into maybe our intro. Or
that's what that is. That is groovy.
Groovy. Almost like Evil Dead, Bruce.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Groovy. All right, so before we do run the intro and everything, I did want to talk a little bit about The Nun too, kind of like some expectations. Matt, I know that you enjoy The Nun. I love Valak. So what kind of expectations do you have for The Nun 2 coming out? Because that does come out in September.
I have probably too high expectations, because I have grown very attached with The Nun. And when I tell people that I enjoyed The Nun, they're all surprised. And I get it. Because, you all who know me, I like that in your face slashing, don't give me much downtime. I don't need a big drawn out, thought out story. And that's not The Nun, man. That is not The Nun. So where I can say that it draws me in from a get-go is atmosphere and visuals. I've also talked about how, horror is art to me. And if you have a badass character like Valak, that's just amazing to look at. And then I'm going to be drawn in. And I actually, I don't love The Nun, but I do like it, and I end up liking the story. I think my biggest draw when they ended up realizing that there was nobody in there. There was no nuns. I love that. I really like that. Now, I think the only thing The Nun 2 really needs for me is more nun. That's what it lacked. That's what it lacked. But then again, The Nun is just, she's a demon. Valak is a demon. I know she's not going to be running around stalking a camp like Jason Voorhees. That's not the style this movie's going for. So, but I'd like it to be a little bit faster paced than the first one. I really would. If it can do that and keep that, atmosphere, keep that, amazing cast. The Conjuring Universe can cast the best of the best, whether they're looking for a 12-year-old or a priest or, the Warrens. The cast is always amazing. So if they can, stay with that, give us a little bit more Valak, give us a good story, because The Nun needs a story. Like I said, she's not this, slashing villain where you can just have, boobs in Crystal Lake and a bunch of slash, and it does.
Oh, that does hold up though.
It does, but yeah, the Nun needs a story. So give us a good story. Give us a little bit more Nun. Keep that creepy atmosphere with phenomenal casting, and I think I'll be blown out of the water, man. I did get to speak with Valak. She's amazing, by the way, and she's out of her mind. Yeah. If you ever get a chance to meet her, anyone, I highly recommend it. She's wild, man. Like, if you're gonna hang out with her, like, expect to get arrested. Like, she's crazy. She's a good time, but
that's awesome.
Her exact words were that the Nun 2 is going to blow all the Conjuring movies out of the water, and if that doesn't get you excited, yeah, I don't know what will. But yeah, I got high expectations, Michael.
If I were to expect anything out of it, my biggest expectation is maybe pick up the pacing a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
It kind of felt, and I'll get into it, a little more, but I just want them to cut that anchor off their feet, stop dragging their feet, and let's go. You gave us all the backstory I feel like we needed, man. So I feel like that this one should just jump off right away. And that would be something that I would appreciate, and expect for the Nun 2 to be like. But then again, you never know.
So is it safe to say in your mind this should be the kills of the Nun franchise? Let's go, Michael. Let's go. Let's go.
Without the evil dies tonight, and
without the evil dies tonight. But you know what I'm saying? Like, let's go, Val.
Yeah.
I agree. It needs to. Yeah, the backstory's been set. You're right. Let's
cut the chains and let her run. You know what I mean?
And I want it because Valak is so demonic. Like I want it. I want it demonic, man. I want it to I want it to hit some boundaries, like go deep and make some people cringe. Like let's do it. Like a no holds bar. Like I'm down with that.
I mean, looking at the trailer, it didn't really give me, too much. But then again, trailers are so hit or miss with me. You know what I mean? It's either totally awesome and they showed too much, or it's not enough and they really didn't show anything.
Right. And it's hard to get a trailer right. Yeah.
And we talked about that too. Like the biggest things, what the trailer's doing is either they show, way too much to where we've talked about multiple times on here, or, they just show all the good parts in the trailer of the movie and the rest of the movie sucks. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like those are like, common things that I see, with trailers. And it's just, you rarely get the ones that just hit you just right, to where they're not showing anything, or, I could give you a million examples of where they went wrong in so many trailers, but.
I guess that's where I pulled back if they, I have a hard time saying, like, being mad that they didn't show enough. Like, if it's your baby, that you're going to go see it. If it's Friday the 13th or something, you're going to go see it if that's your thing. But you don't need to see the top 5 kills, in the trailer, man. What if we didn't know Michael was behind the closet door in 2018? That would have been awesome, man.
Right.
So I would prefer to be disappointed that the trailer's not giving me enough. I'd be happier with that.
Yeah.
Then
to see too much, I agree.
Yeah.
But they have to find a way to walk that fine line to show you enough to get interested, but not to ruin stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's, I'm sure, easier said than done, right?
Sure.
It's not like I'm sitting there doing the editing or anything, but it's just like, man, that's a tough thing, to get right. So it's, I don't know. We'll see. All right, man. Well, let's go ahead and run this intro, and then we get into ranking these movies and start deep dive discussing these movies. And I'm really looking forward to doing that. And I'm especially looking forward to seeing, what everybody in the chat has to say about these movies, as well as ranking them. Because I always look forward to the rankings in the chat to go along with our rankings too. So let's go ahead and I'll drop us out of here, man. And we'll go ahead and run this intro. All right. We'll see you guys in a minute.
All right.
Jones messed with the wrong melon farmers. Thug life. And here we go.
avenge his death.
Hello, Sydney. Are you a The Force will be with you, always.
I wish I had you all alone, just the two of us.
All right, and we are back. Let me go ahead and catch up with the chat, and we will go into starting to talk about these movies. I do see a lot of people talking about the Saw trailer as well, to which, if I'm being 100% honest, I have not checked out yet. I think it came out Tuesday. I believe it dropped. And I don't know. Saw, for me, I appreciate Saw, but it's just kind of one of those franchises to where I get around to see it when I see it. And it's not on the top of my list, but I understand its importance and what Saul has done for horror, and the direction that it kind of turned horror into, and giving people Saul is almost like its own genre in horror. You know what I mean? It's more of that very graphic. It's very graphic. It's just kind of hard to explain. But I've always looked at Saw as being its own. It's definitely not a slasher, right? And it's not kind of like a haunted movie. It's its own kind of thing. And then there are many movies that came out after Saw that tried to replicate what they did. So it's not just Saw that's in that little subgenre of horror.
I'm right there with you, Michael. I get around to the Saws. I want to say there's probably 4 or 5 I've still yet to see.
Yeah.
I won't deny that the original was an absolute classic.
Yeah, 1 and 2. I really liked 1 and 2.
Same, but I did start to lose my interest. But what intrigues me about this one is I've heard that it's they're not just doing number 12 or whatever they're on now. It's going to be something between like 1 and 2, or like start off after part 2, okay. Which I think that's what the franchise needed. Like enough's enough of like him still creating things after he's been dead for so long and all that stuff that's going on. Like, I'm actually going to check it out. It seems like they're going in the direction they need to at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's not my baby.
Let's see what we got going on. The Shape is saying, thanks. Enjoy talking to you both. When I come and see y'all, have a great time talking horror. Yeah, definitely, James. Same here, buddy. Same here.
I have to talk quite a bit of horror with James today. And yeah, it's always a good time, James.
Oh, yeah. Love you, buddy. Jerry Wilson is saying, Michael and Matt, little Jerry says hello. What's up, little Jerry?
Yeah, man. Hello, little Jerry. And little Jerry, I want to tell you, my friend, I found your Pikachu, and I'll be getting that to you as soon as I possibly can, buddy. So I found him.
Hell yeah.
All is well.
Jerry Wilson is also saying, Thug Life, shit my pants, every time I hear that. It's great, man. I absolutely love Pineapple Express. Thug Life.
I still like the melon farmers. Like,
Oh yeah,
I had never heard that before, but that's
Ted
all right.
Jones just messed with the wrong melon farmers.
That's all right.
The Horror Corner is saying, this is my favorite horror movie channel ever. Thank you, man. That means a lot, dude.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah, man. Yeah, that's awesome to hear. That's awesome to hear.
It does.
We're glad to have you, man. We're glad to have you. Love
Sure. Russell is saying it's storming like crazy here, so my internet is going in and out. Now I get that, man. That
sucks.
I totally get that. We're happy to have you while you're here, buddy, for sure.
Yeah, I love storms, though. I love them.
Hell yeah. Rochelle is saying, love the Game of Thrones dragon section of the intro too. I do too.
I've actually not seen Game of Thrones, but the dragon on there, I'm guessing that's from Game of Thrones. That
Oh,
is
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. The Horror Corner is also saying this intro rocks. Yes, I had fun with that.
You know, I appreciate you saying that. I worked really hard on that.
Hey, Matt really did.
Stuff like that doesn't.
All the hours that he put in front of the computer, editing, and getting
Does
the
not
sound
come
right,
overnight, Michael. You know,
getting all the sound bits in there.
all the editing was a nightmare.
Oh, I can imagine, man. I'm
You
sure
know,
you spent
but
so
I
much
was
time.
I was driven, man. I was gonna do something epic. So
Yeah.
I'm glad
Well
it worked
done.
out.
Well done. Anyway, that's mine. Like, Mad Mom is also saying, I'm looking forward to the final season of Stranger Things. You and me both in 2029 when we finally get it, I'm sure. And also, Daryl Dixon's series, Dead City, is getting really good. I'm 3 episodes behind on Dead City, but I am agreeing with you that I am having a good time with it for sure. I hope to catch up with that. Hopefully this week, maybe.
Now, the final season of Stranger Things, will that be? Guys, I haven't finished season 3. I'm on that. Will the final season be 5?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And I'm surprised that you haven't got to 4 yet, because, dude, that's like the horror season. Like, that's when that show transitions. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Very Nightmare on Elm Street esque. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of elements of a Nightmare on Elm Street in it.
Get there. I'll start alternating Hannibal, Stranger Things. How's that?
And by the way, too, Matt started watching Hannibal.
I did.
What are you thinking about that so far, buddy?
I did. Digging it. You know, I'm not super far in. I'm on episode 3, 4, but I can see it hooking me, man. During the week, I have very little time, but I'm gonna run with that when I get a chance, man. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. And I hate to think of like somebody replacing Anthony Hopkins, you know, because he was so good as Hannibal. But this guy's phenomenal. I don't know the actor's name.
I think it's Mac Mickelson. I'm pretty sure his name's Mac Mickelson.
He's killing it, man. He's killing it. Yeah.
Kind of a different type of Hannibal, but not really. Like, you start to see more of the Anthony Hopkins type of Hannibal.
And that is okay. That is okay.
It is.
That's what you need to do. If somebody's nailed a role, don't go try to just, you know what I'm saying? Don't go try to just repeat what they've done.
Yeah.
You know, because it's gonna come out shit. Make it your own.
Definitely.
You know, yeah.
Definitely. Hell yeah.
You know, if Heath Ledger ended up looking like a Jack Nicholson wannabe, it would have been god awful. You know.
Yeah, and that's a good comparison for that.
You know.
Yeah. It definitely is. And I mean, you could even look at Joaquin Phoenix's Joker too.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't try to be either of them.
Right.
And I mean, love him or hate him, same with Jared Leto's Joker. You know, like, they've all been their own things. You know, love them or hate them for the way that they did things, but they all did make it their own. That was a great comparison using the Joker there for sure. Lydia is saying, "Oh, I'm excited for last season of Stranger Things, Teresa. I'm trying to catch up on The Walking Dead. I'm still on season 4. Yeah, you got a while to go on The Walking Dead.
You got about a year and a half to go on that.
You have got some time.
Get there, baby steps.
Oh yeah." Val is also saying Dead City is getting good. I'm also excited for Daryl's series. Always thought he should have had his own spinoff, and you knew he would, because I mean, you think about the whole time we're watching The Walking Dead and we're going through that, you know, if you were online at all, you know, people would say every week, you know, if Daryl dies, we riot. that guy probably had the biggest fan base out of the whole show for sure. So you kind of knew he was definitely going to get a spinoff from that for sure. Jeff D'Angelo is in the chat saying, "Hey everyone, what's up, Jeff? Good to see you, buddy."
Yeah, man. Great to see you, Jeff. Always, buddy. Always.
Mad Mom, aka Teresa Stevens, is saying, "I asked Michael to add Negan swinging his bat in the intro, but he's ignoring me. I think. I don't think I'm ignoring you.
Dude,
I'm thinking about the work that I would
gotta
have
jump
to do
on that. That actually sounds awesome, though. Like
to add that in there. What would I cut out? How would I make it flow with the music that's already there? You know what? Eventually,
I know what I would cut out, but we won't get into all that.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Swinging would be awesome. That would.
What I will do, Teresa, and to show that I'm not ignoring you, what I will do is when I do update the intro, because I'm not going to have the same intro forever, maybe I'll do something, in the fall where I update it a little bit, maybe make something new, add some more clips. I'll definitely get a Negan in there for you. If I don't get him swinging the bat, I'll have him standing there saying, little pig, let me in. Because I think that's one of my favorite Negan.
Do a bunch of bat swingings, Michael, but never Negan. Do it from like Sandlot, like just all kinds of bat swinging, but never Negan. Like just see how fuming she can get. Like,
yes.
The Roan's got plenty of bat swinging. We can throw some
plenty of bats in there. The Shape is saying, "I just had a great Thursday evening with my sister and cousin watching all night horror. Had a great time eating pork ribs, watching people get chopped up. It was a good time." All right. Oh yeah.
Dude, I can't hate on that. Like, I want to eat pork ribs and watch people get chopped up. Like, who doesn't? Come on.
Yeah. Lydia is saying, "The start
the bone." By the way, James told me specifically, like, fall off the bone ribs.
Fall off the bone ribs. Those are the only type of ribs you can have.
Right.
Lydia is saying, "The start of Stranger Things season 4 was a straight backhand. I was pleasantly surprised with how much they dialed up the horror aspect. You were not, when that season starts off, you're not ready for it to just go in that direction that fast." I agree with you 100%. That was freaking awesome.
And that has me excited because I like Stranger Things, but I don't love it. I don't love it as much as everyone else does. And I guess the thing that threw me off with Stranger Things was so much of the I've never been a huge sci-fi, and there's a lot of sci-fi, but I love the kids, guys. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate Stranger Things. I enjoy it. But I guess that's what slowed me down on it, but I've heard nothing but what you guys are saying, that part 4 goes into straight like horror mode.
It does.
I don't want to get there without, and just skip season 3. I want to get there.
Yeah, you're just not expecting it to go in that direction. I remember the first time I saw it, I'm like, oh shit, like there are little kids watching this right now. You know what I mean? Like, seriously.
Cool.
It's like I did not expect that to go.
That intrigues me. Like,
it went all ring real quick. Like, seriously.
I've always wanted to watch what you shouldn't be watching. Like,
oh yeah. Brandon from I Like Scary is in the chat saying, "Hey guys, what's up, Brandon?"
Hey man, Brandon.
Nice. Definitely one thing that I'd like to say about Brandon is making a Halloween fan film, if you did not know about that. And his Indiegogo has gone live for Halloween Lives. And I will put his Indiegogo in the chat. I will put it down there so you guys can check that out. Definitely, if you're in the Ohio area, this is a local filmed film. Try to say that 3 times. And definitely support it. Brandon, he knows it's Halloween, man. This is he's got a small little, not so much of a trailer, but he kind of gives you a little like 45-second look of, kind of things that they're doing over there. And you guys should definitely check that out for sure.
Man, I support that all day. Like, man, I have no doubt you're gonna do something very special, Brandon. Like, I'm stoked to see what you come up with, man. Absolutely.
Definitely. And I'll pin that link to his Indiegogo in the description of the video for sure. I'll definitely do that. Definitely excited to see what comes out of that for sure. Oh,
And I got to
nice.
see some of the clips that you were showing me, the other day, and
Yeah.
I'll say right off the rip, the Michael looks fantastic.
That's
Looks fantastic.
That's 50% of the battle right there. Dude.
I'd even go as far as saying 75. But
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
definitely it.
If your Michael looks like a Spirit Halloween reject, why bother? Yeah, it's like, yeah, it looked really good, guys.
And it's like the biggest thing for that when I saw it, I was super excited because Michael's mask was tucked in. I was like, that's
There you
what
go.
I'm talking about.
There you go. And and one of the biggest things too is it's coming from someone who has a true passion for Halloween, man. A true passion. You just can't do those type of films, whether it's a Freddy and Jason, if you're not diehard into it, from the get go. It shows in those films, when a director is strictly there for hire or whatever, or an actor, it shows, man. But
And that was the same. That was one of the things that, when Vince was on last week that we were talking about, man, like having that passion for the project that you're working on.
Right.
You can totally tell when someone has passion for something and when they don't. So,
yeah,
that's, I couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier with, Brandon doing a Halloween film for sure. Definitely. But I think it might be Conjuring time, Matt. Well, Conjuring Universe time.
I'm ready. But I've got something to admit. I didn't know we were ranking them.
You know what?
I'm gonna rank them on a whim here.
There's only 7 of them.
It's all up here. I'm okay.
You know what I mean?
I'm okay.
There's only 7 of them. I didn't make my list while we were backstage or anything.
You start getting
it's
into
fine.
later ones, it can get a little fuzzy, man. That's where I like to have my notes. But I forgot we were ranking them. So, but yeah, let's do it.
All good, man. On that note,
should we Hunter Ninja Bear for who goes first?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, it's a lot like Paper Rock Scissors, but it's Hunter Ninja Bear, man.
Is it like Paper Rock Scissors Lizard Spock?
I don't know. I learned it from the guys from the Insidious films. Before they go down to her room, they're both scared, so they do Hunter Ninja Bear. I thought it was freaking awesome. Like, I had never heard of that before.
Did you see it? You saw Insidious.
But did you
5,
know
right?
that a bear beats a ninja?
I debate that.
But it's his sense of smell. You can smell him coming, Michael.
Welcome to Movies and Beyond, where we are about to debate on whether or not a ninja can
take
beat
out a
bear.
Yeah, you can go first, buddy. Just forget everything I said in the last few minutes.
Okay, I'll go first. So what I think is the ninja's ability to throw the smoke, right? And to cause the distraction, along with the katana. Oh, you're talking about the Conjuring. I was about to get into Chinese, their throwing stars, the ninja throwing stars, and the katana blade, and their ability. I mean, look at the Ninja Turtles, man.
You got to specify what kind of bear, too. We're talking black bear, grizzly bear, polar bear.
Yeah. Dude, out of all the bears, I think the polar bears scare me the most. Seriously.
They're massive.
Yeah,
massive.
Did you see that video of that guy that got in that glass case? It wasn't glass, it was like plexiglass, and it was strong, and he just sat himself out there, and his polar bear was like trying for hours to bust it open and eat him. It's like, dude, why would you do that? It's just so you could just be like, oh shit, I sat out there with the polar bear for 6 hours. You know why he tried to eat me? What if that, dude, you're not getting away from a polar bear. You're not. I don't care. Funny how this just became about bears. Welcome to Movies and Beyond, people.
Conjuring.
The Conjuring. We are talking about The Conjuring. So I do want to point this out right here. The Bipolar caught that Big Bang reference. Well done on that. Well done. That was the rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. So that was from the Big Bang Theory.
I actually remember that. I remember that.
In all honesty, when I was saying it, I was just like, okay, it was just Lizard and Spock, right? Those were the only two. I was just making sure that I didn't miss any. I wanted to get that one right for sure. Definitely looking forward to that one. But all right, man, I'll go first since you're working on your list and your mental right
So
now.
is this is obviously least.
Right, and we're gonna leave out the Curse of La Llorona for the simple fact that it
Still
is, but it isn't.
debatable whether it's in there.
It is, but it isn't.
Cool.
And if you think it is, great. If you think it isn't, great. We're just gonna leave it out of this one for today. So we have 7 movies. All right. So we've got Conjuring 1, 2, and 3, Annabelle Creation, Annabelle Comes Home, Annabelle, and The Nun. So that gives us 7 movies we're going to look at and rank today and talk a little bit about each one as we go through. And Lydia's throwing some polar bear knowledge up here, and I'm not going to pass that one up to where she says, my favorite thing about polar bears is their livers have so much vitamin A. It would kill you if you ate one. Fun fact about bears.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Look, horror people, where else are you going to go to talk horror and jump into a bear conversation, right? Matt, do you remember when we debated for 2 hours what would win between a bear and a tiger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like to revisit it.
It got factual and phones came out and weights were taken. And
it's your turn, Michael.
All right. Conjuring Universe. Number 7. Okay. I have my number 7. And I am going to say this about my number 7 pick.
It was a Siberian tiger.
Yeah, a Siberian. Yeah, for sure. There's Siberians and there's Bengals. One's bigger than the other one.
Yeah, but as you were, I'm sorry.
One of the biggest ones was like up to 900 and some odd pounds. So, you think about a cat's flexibility versus a bear's,
at 900. Yeah.
Hey, there's just a lot going on there. We could, again, this could be its own show, and it may be one day. I'm telling you, I don't know how many people would watch it, but we could definitely get into that. We could fact check and everything. It'll be fantastic. My number 7 for the Conjuring franchise, or not the Conjuring franchise, but the Conjuring Universe. This movie is the latest movie to come out, and I will be 100% honest with you guys. I have only seen it one time, and the one time that I did see it, it really didn't do too much for me. I loved how it started out, but as it went on, it just kind of fell off a little bit for me. And that's going to go to the Conjuring 3 as my number 7. And I understand that when you see movies multiple times, you start to get like a, maybe you'll like it a little more.
Sometimes.
Hell, maybe you'll like it a little less, and we had a Patreon watch along on Friday where we watched a couple of the Annabelle movies. I wanted to, freshen myself up for it, just refresh my brain on some of these movies that, I hadn't seen in a while. So the Patreon members, we jumped on StreamYard and it was a great time, you guys. So if you're ever on Patreon, you like coming on and watching movies, we do that as well. And we did a double header of Annabelle 2014 and Annabelle Creation. So definitely, good movies. And it just kind of gave me that refresher with these movies. But yeah, my number 7 being The Conjuring 3, I loved the beginning of the movie. It felt very Conjuring to me, but as it went on, it just didn't hold my interest the way that the rest of the movies did. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it is the one that I like the least out of these 7 movies. But these 7 movies are really good movies, so there has to be a number 7. And if I'm being 100% honest, I am definitely going to go with The Conjuring 3, because this, for the first 2 Conjurings, you went into demons and possession, and it both of them kind of went in that similar direction, and that's kind of what my mind was expecting to see out of a Conjuring movie. And it took a turn towards like witchcraft and stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it just, The Conjuring, it just wasn't a direction I wanted to go with Ed and Lorraine. They're really big on dealing with, spiritual, demonic entities and things like that. And to find out that, there were things happening, but it was due to a form of magic. Again, nothing wrong with magic. Just that it just wasn't what I was expecting for, The Conjuring. It just wasn't the direction I wanted to go, in for sure. But that's what I have for number 7. So, Matt, what did you have for your number 7?
Okay, so I have absolutely nothing to say because I'm going to piggyback off of you 100%.
Okay.
But you hit everything that I would say. I had really high expectations. I mean, it's the Conjuring 3 for crying out loud, you know? So, I mean, you hit everything on that I could say. You know, it did start off well. It did not keep your interest. I was just talking about this, you know, an hour ago before the show started. That I feel like, but it wasn't a terrible film by any means. It wasn't a terrible film,
and it looked
was
nice.
not related to. If it was not related to the Conjuring universe, I'd probably think much more highly of it. And I even feel that there were parts where they were trying too hard, where it lost that realistic touch. Like, you know, when you're talking possession or whatever, you know, like, a lot of times when, you know, say a female's possessed or whatever, their bodies can, you know, contort into, you know, strange positions, and, you know, a bone will crack and it's real creepy. And that can be done very well.
Yeah.
But in this one, the guy was cracking like a freaking like cracker jack, and like where I thought it was stupid. You know, it wasn't creepy whatsoever. It was just, do you remember that part? Like he raised up off the floor and he was just, it was like so over the top.
That's exactly what the words I was looking for. It was just over the top.
Yeah.
Like there can be too much sometimes, to where it's just like, that's a little excessive.
You know, you go back to The Exorcist. Her head spinning was awesome. If it spins 17 times, it'd be goofy. You know, but you know, it's not a terrible movie. But yeah, Michael, I don't have much to say. You hit everything. It was the weakest link for the Conjuring universe for sure, man. So.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I definitely think so as well. So that's number 7. You know, quite a few people, you know, agreeing with us in the chat. Val was agreeing with us, and then Russell is saying that flat out it's the Conjuring 1, 2, Annabelle Creation, The Nun, Annabelle Comes Home, Curse of La Llorona, and then the Conjuring 3. So even Russell has the Conjuring 3, you know, being at the end. And I think, you know, from what I'm reading in the chat,
and I don't like. Damn.
I bet you Russell did that in his head just like that. I was just like, nope, this is what it is. I got it. DJ Hootie Who is saying Cocaine Bear. Red Goddess is saying it was weak. It was definitely one of the weaker movies, you know, in my opinion, for sure. But James is coming out saying I prefer German Shepherds over polar bears. Boy, we are not going to get rid of these bears tonight, are we?
No, we're not.
Jerry is saying, FYI, Cocaine Bear will be at Scarefest. So if you do want that autograph, I definitely. Can I get a paw print from Cocaine Bear, please?
I've not seen Cocaine Bear yet. Have you, Michael?
Yeah, it happened. You know, it was there.
You did watch it.
I did watch Cocaine Bear.
Okay, I've not seen it.
It was a one-timer. You know, I wasn't mad. I watched it.
Rush either, so.
But it doesn't. Cocaine Bear doesn't matter, dude. Until you've seen Cocaine Shark, that movie is a modern triumph that anyone, you know, in Hollywood should be.
I'm a shark junkie. Like it don't
no, Matt.
The shark movie is. Is it pretty bad?
You're gonna watch this and you're gonna be like, "What the hell just happened?" Okay, this movie. I am so glad I watched it just so we could have these conversations. And that's really, you know, the only.
I've seen more Sharknadoes than I like to admit.
Oh, I'd rather watch Sharknado 100 times before I watch Cocaine Shark again, for sure. And that should tell you something for sure. All right, number 6. Oh, let me change the number. Getting better at that. I remembered the numbers this time. See, look at me doing stuff. Val is saying, I just watched Cocaine Bear for the first time today. It was freaking hilarious. It definitely was. For sure. All right, number 6 with me. This is a tough one for me to put at number 6 because I love the character so much. But I am going with The Nun from 2018. Just for a few of the things that I was talking about. You know, I just felt like that this movie put chains on Valak's feet. You know, it had a very good intro. The intro right away, it was just like, what this is, where the girl jumps out, hanging herself from the window, and Valak's just floating down that hallway, into the room, and you got the music and you've got that bar, and it's just like, hell yeah, man. Like this is going down. But then for like the next 45 minutes, I feel like that movie just kind of like drug its feet to where it's just like, oh my God, will you please land this plane? The action that was in it, when you did get to the battles and everything, I thought that they were really good. I like the ending sequence with Valak. I thought that the Jesus blood was a little, I mean, we all got Jesus blood stored somewhere, right? And it's just when the nun was over, I was just like, guys, it's Valak. I freaking love Valak. From a character standpoint, what a fantastic character. And I just felt like it didn't really do too much for me. So like I said, when it was good, but then I feel like when it wasn't, it was just definitely just dragging, for sure. Val, I see that you have your number 6 up there. It's The Curse of La Llorona. We are not going to include that in our 7 movies tonight. We are going to go ahead and leave that one out for this one. All right, number 6 for you, Matt. Sir.
Okay, so number 6 for me, I'm okay saying this one. It's gonna be the original, the first Annabelle.
Okay.
For me, and it's hard to say too much. I've got to give it. It's been a minute since I've seen this one, but I just remember that it was okay and a little too slow moving. I don't remember it having this big, climatic, rise, and just didn't do it for me. So now, granted, which I'll talk about a little bit later, but the Annabelle's definitely picked up for me, which is strange. Usually it's that original, and everybody says everything else after that sucks. But with the Annabelles, for me, it's the complete opposite. Which really, and it was, I hate to say this, but it was, for me, it was pretty weak, where I wasn't that excited for when Creations was coming out, and all the other ones. Just, I guess, a little too slow moving for me is the biggest thing I can say. But like I said, it's been a minute since I've seen that one, so I can't pinpoint certain things, but just uneventful. So 6 for me is Annabelle.
Oh yeah. All right. That's actually one that I did watch this weekend.
I wish I could have as well.
Yeah.
So I would love to refresher on that one, but it's been a while. So
when I had seen Annabelle 2014, which is my number 5, by the way, Annabelle 2014. The first time that I saw it was in the theater when it came out in 2014. And before Friday, that was the last time that I saw it. So, especially with the way that my brain works and the way that.
And I'm sorry, Michael, did this come out? So it was 2014. Was it? It was the second in the universe, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So this came out in 2014, and it was very slow going the first time I watched it. It was just like, oh man, what is the point? And when are we gonna get to it? That was the thing the first time I saw it. Upon rewatch, I saw a few things I didn't see last time, and things that now that you didn't know then, because of creation and things like that, to where they intertwine so well. It kind of gave me that little. It kind of gave me that boost for that movie. The way that it all intertwined with creation made it that much cooler to me. Granted, it did take, another movie to make it, way cooler than it was, originally the first time I saw it. but at the same time, man, it had some really good parts in it. It definitely had some solid scenes in that movie. And especially the one that sticks out to me was the one that they ended up showing at the end of creation. But when you're watching it for the first time in Annabelle 2014, when she's laying in the bed, you know, she sits up and you see the couple next door. The lady's got the phone, and the man gets up and he walks over, and then all of a sudden you just see the blood go, spraying across, and the light goes out, and then she looks over. Like the timing and the way that it played out to where, she went over there, and then, the girl ends up in the freaking doll, but it was, Annabelle, and you didn't really understand it. You thought, oh, okay, she put herself into the doll, but we didn't know at the time. Well, that's Annabelle from Annabelle Creation. You know what I mean? And it's just like, man, the way that it all went together. Yeah, it wasn't enough to put it past number 5, but it definitely was. It is better in my mind now, after my rewatch, and then after seeing, Annabelle Creation. So again, you hate to be the one to say, well, it took another movie to make this one better, but sometimes it does. Sometimes you have to have more to the story to kind of enlighten you to see, the things that weren't necessarily visible the first time you saw it. And yeah, man, I totally dig this movie. So number 5 is Annabelle 2014 for me.
All right.
All right.
So 5 for me.
5.
This is gonna be my hardest one for the evening. Is 5. And still not made my mind up. I'm gonna go with.
Well, why don't you take a minute and I will look through the chat and see what we're doing there. Where you definitely work that out for sure.
I could. You know what I'll do? Actually, I'm gonna take a restroom break. I'm gonna come back with my number 5.
And then you're gonna work that out.
And I'm gonna work it out. And then let's dig into the chat. I'll be right back.
All right.
With my number 5, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. All right. So where are we at in the chat? Lydia's saying, screw everyone else's line. I'm going straight to Cocaine Bear, Jerry. That's awesome. No, it's probably not true, but it's still awesome. For sure. Let's see what else. You guys are asking for line passes to see Cocaine Bear, and Jerry is saying that he will twerk for it. So if you got a line pass at Scarefest, you want to see Jerry twerk, here it is right here. It's on the internet forever. You guys will definitely be able to see it. Puller's asking if there are 2 or 3 Annabelles. There are 3. You have Annabelle 2014, you have Annabelle Creation, and Annabelle Comes Home. So there are 3 of those. And then other people answering that question. Annabelle Creation is my favorite Annabelle movie. Conjuring, number 1, Conjuring. Number 2, Conjuring 2. 3, Annabelle Creation. Yeah, that's a solid list for sure. James is saying the creepiest doll I've ever seen. And I'll tell you what, there are a lot of people, that buy that doll and they have it in their house. And, for me, that's no. Something about dolls. And somebody asked me over the weekend, well, how do you feel about Chucky? And I'm like, Chucky's fine. I could have 20 Chuckies laying around, but there's definitely something about Annabelle to where if I wake up and the first thing I'm seeing is Annabelle looking at me, that stuff's gonna definitely hit different. Like there's no way that that's happening. Val is agreeing that doll is creepy as fuck. It is for sure. Like I'm not. Derby some derps is in the chat saying hi everyone. I just got here. Well, welcome. Glad to have you for sure. Lydia saying, if you give me a line pass for Pablo Escobar, Jerry will also twerk for that as well. See, there it is. It's on the internet. That means that it's solid, and it is. Yeah, just always go back to this video. Jerry, You might be doing some stuff, buddy, for Scarefest line skips. Maybe happening for sure. So just to let you know, if you want to get rid of any of your line skips for Scarefest, Jerry is willing to twerk for them. So,
And dude, that's a deal. Like that is a man. If you've not had the chance to see Jerry twerk, it's something to see.
well, it's the deal is solidified. It's on the internet at this point. So
It's something to see. Like just it's. I don't know how he does it, but moves like, jeez.
Derps is saying Annabelle is definitely scarier than Chuck. I agree, man. Like I told you, I could have 20 Chuckies in my room and I'd be fine. But I got one Annabelle staring at me when I wake up, and it's just like, no.
I agree to an extent. It's the only thing I'm. It depends what time period you're talking, like, because there was a time, like as a young kid watching the original Chucky where I was terrified, but that's a different time, and yeah, all around I'd say I'd have to agree. But the original Chucky was, for its time, and watching that, 9-10 years old, whatever I was, it was awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Chucky's awesome, but dude, I'm not waking up. I'm not waking up and looking at Annabelle.
Except that whatever that was, that remake they did, we won't even go there, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, that was definitely a bad one.
Pretty bad.
So. Val is saying that her ranking is The Conjuring, The Conjuring 2, Annabelle Creation, Annabelle, The Nun. All right. All right. Derpy saying, sorry I missed last week's stream. Hey, don't even worry about that. Like, come when you can and hang out. We love to have you guys, whenever you guys can make it. We understand that, life happens, and, most of us are adults here and have to do other things. I mean, hell, me and Matt don't even make all the shows. You know what I mean? We have stuff come up and we have to do other things, and we get it, but we're definitely glad to have you here. Let's see. The Shape, James said, I didn't know that there were 3 of them. Talking about the Annabelle movie still. Yes, sir. There are 3.
Yeah.
There are 3.
And that's fine. I don't think that's Jerry, or I'm sorry, it's James' baby by any means. So yeah, there's 3 of them for sure. And I'm on 4, correct?
You are on 4.
Or are you still going with the chat? Because I'm down with the chat.
Yeah, let me get through some more of these chats. I'm trying to stay. We're actually doing well with the chat today.
Love the chat.
Russell is saying Annabelle is possessed by a demon and cult member spirit.
Malthus. I believe the demon's name is Malthus.
Oh, yeah.
And the little glimpses you get of him are amazing, dude.
Yeah.
He is dude, he is scary as shit.
Dude, when that girl's in the basement in Annabelle 2014, she's trying to go up that damn elevator. Like, I was not having that, dude. Like, no.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That thing, I'm not, no. Polar is saying, maybe if they didn't make Chucky a comedy later on, he'd scare us as much as Annabelle. Maybe. Probably. I mean,
dude,
Chucky had
when she's under the stairs, sorry. He's behind with those beaming eyes. And,
yeah, man.
God, yeah.
Yeah, and even in Annabelle 2014, when he picks up the doll and he's holding him, and then all of a sudden he's freaking huge behind her. I'm just like, dude, there's no way.
And Polar, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. It started to be like, what's Chucky gonna say that's gonna crack me up, But man, he did start off terrifying, man.
Yeah.
That scene where they check the batteries and his head turns around, that's iconic to me. That was amazing. Like, who is not going to shit their pants? You're starting to get curious. You were this non-believer for the longest time, but you're at that point, where enough's happened to where you're curious. Hey, maybe there is something to this. And you go check those batteries, and then he's going to spin his head right as you do that. Dude, no, I'm throwing that sumbitch right out the window. Like,
for sure.
I might even be going with him. I'm so scared. I don't know.
For sure, for
But,
sure.
yeah, that was epic. And yeah, they're getting ready to torch him in the fire, and he just goes into freaking beast Chucky mode. You mother, that was awesome, dude. That was
Yeah.
awesome. That
Hell
was
yeah.
awesome. But we're not talking about Chucky, are we?
We aren't. But Russell says that one scene in Annabelle always gets me. The little girl in the hallway that runs at the lady, and adult Annabelle comes through the door.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
That was absolutely crazy.
it was genius. It was, yeah.
For sure. Like,
Yeah,
oh my
that about gave me a heart attack.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that Friday. I forgot all about that. You know, I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
But I don't
Jesus,
get
look
scared.
at
I mean, you know,
Yeah, of course
I
not.
handle it like a
I
man.
mean, what was that?
He's so right with that part, man. It was so good.
Yeah, and Jerry agrees. That was wickedly good. It definitely was, man. That's
Yeah.
Derpy Derps is also saying that battery scene was so awesome. That's like the most iconic
was,
Chucky scene to me of all time.
Same,
For sure. Yeah,
same.
100%. That and my, you know, it is the most iconic Chucky scene to me of all time, and my second favorite Chucky scene. But the very first is when he's like, "No, Andy, we're supposed to be friends to the end." And he's like, "This is the end, friend."
Yeah.
And he throws out, oh God, dude. I was like, that little kid turned into a savage. In one movie, he turned into a savage.
Yeah,
That's just fantastic.
There's a lot of right behind it for me is you know, it goes back to the fireplace. Talk to me, damn it, and you know, lighting that match and him just going to beast mode like that. The original Child's Play was I hold it way up there.
It hit different
so
from the
much
rest of them.
Yeah.
It definitely did, for sure. All right, dude. Number 5. We are on number 5.
So while I was on my break, I, you know, got some sense knocked into me by my wonderful girlfriend. She brought me to my senses here, and it's still a hard decision, but man, I'm going with Annabelle Comes Home.
Okay, number 5.
And guys, we're seriously talking about movies I thoroughly enjoy at this point, man. Big fan of Annabelle Comes Home, and the word that comes to me is fun. It's just fun, and I cannot talk about the Conjuring Universe without bringing up the young talent that they've brought into this franchise, dude. You know, whether they're 7, 13, whatever, they're amazing, dude, and they're all believable. It's just, you know, it's amazing. Down to the little boyfriend love interest playing the guitar, like, dude, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and then you get that hint, and this would be a what if we didn't have this movie. You know, what if all, you know, this would be a big what if, like around a campfire story. Like, what if all the shit in the Warrens museum just started coming alive and coming at you? Like, what kind of chaos would that bring? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we get that in Annabelle Comes Home, and it's freaking awesome. But I just feel like that's all I can say. It's fun. You're on this fun ride. There's not a dull moment. Everybody's acting their asses off. You know, you get a little bit of, you know, the Warrens aren't in there very often. You know, they're not in that very much. And that's okay. As much as I love them, their absence is held down by an amazing cast. And but to see all the other things, you know, down to the you know, the what would you call it, like Mongolian warrior demon, you know, the guy with the nickels, the quarter guy, and all that, but getting little bits of everything. The lady in the dress, it's a fun ride, man. So if anyone hasn't seen that and you're looking for a good time, check out Annabelle Comes Home. But I thoroughly enjoy it, and so much that it kind of hurts me to say that it's number 5. But like I said, this is a great franchise, man. But I'm gonna stick to my guns, and Annabelle Comes Home.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Great
Number
movie.
5.
Great movie.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy it, and it actually is my number 4. Annabelle Comes Home. So in previous rankings, so I will say this because we talk a lot about how when we rank things that things will change, depending on how many times you see
Hell
something.
yeah.
And I believe that when we did the movies of 2000, it was one of our streams where I did put Annabelle Comes Home before Annabelle Creations. Well, after rewatching it Friday, it definitely Annabelle Creation did definitely move up on my list. Like I said, the way that it intertwined, with Annabelle 2014, which did bump down to number 4, Annabelle Comes Home. And I mean, you did talk a lot about why I like that movie so much. You do get that. This room comes alive. How much are we going to be in? How much, what's all going to come out of here? Even the scene when Ed and Lorraine Warren are driving back with Annabelle in the back seat,
Yeah.
and Lorraine's sitting there and looks over and they're by the graveyard and the car
Yeah.
stops working. And, she could see the people standing out there. And you get the little like jump scare of him hitting the horn by accident, and then he almost gets pushed out in front of the truck. Dude, it's just like, all those good Conjuring pieces were there when they were there. You know what I mean? Like it literally felt like, okay, well, when we got Annabelle, we got to get her back to the house. What kind of gives you, that they took Annabelle after the first Conjuring because it opened up in that sequence, and it kind of gave you a little look into what was it like. What was it like when they took it home? Like what was that trip? Because we know, in Annabelle, when that priest tried to take it into the church, what happened?
What is it like transporting that bitch? Like,
Just ask that priest. He tried to take it inside, and from Annabelle 2014, he tried to take it in that church, and he went flying backwards. And then you could see, the demon standing there.
and that tells you the power of Malthus. Like, dude.
Yeah. Like it was just ridiculous. But Annabelle Comes Home. You said a lot about that movie. Not only were the characters great in that movie, the way they tied in the ending, to where the demon was playing with that girl, playing as her father, saying that it was her fault and this and that, and that Lorraine was able to make contact with her father and let her know that that shit's not true.
Yeah.
It kind of gave that little happy ending to these movies that you don't normally, feel so much for. And then all the kids coming to her birthday.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just like, man, these kids are cool as shit.
Yeah.
And they went above and beyond what they had to do, because they cared so much. And it was just, I absolutely loved it for sure.
Michael, what I like about like what you just said, like him the demon playing with like it's your fault and everything.
Yeah.
I like that because that's what, in my opinion, that's what a demon would really do. They hit where they hit home.
Yeah.
They know what buttons to push and how to dig into your, deepest regrets, fears, whatever. And yeah, that's exactly what a demon would do. But
yeah, it's I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. But I mean, then again, we're on number 4 of a universe that I absolutely love. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely my number 4, Annabelle Comes Home, 2019. Number 4 for you, sir.
The Nun.
All right.
And like I said, it was hard to go, I was bouncing back between The Nun and Comes Home. Love The Nun, but you know me, Michael. I can agree with, I can see other people's point of views as well. And like I touched on, earlier when I a lot of people, when I say I love The Nun, they're surprised. It doesn't have all the things that I typically find intriguing in a horror movie. It's not, balls to the wall. It's not, but really, I already touched on it. I was looking for, probably without even knowing it, but I was looking for that next character that gives me that amazing, that visual, like, my basement's surrounded with Michael Myers, Pinhead. Freddy, and the reason for that, yes, I love the movies, but I love the art of these characters who created these amazing characters. And Valak filled that for me. I mean, Valak the Nun, it hasn't been around all that long, and I've already got, I mean, I don't know, 7 figures, 3 busts. Like, dude, I'm turning up with Valak stuff. So I'm just keeping it real. That's what caught me, is her look, is what caught me from the get go. And so it had me there, and then I liked the story. But when someone's like, yeah, put me to sleep, for that, the 45 minutes after, the initial beginning, I get that. I get that. It is slow moving, but I guess the ending and all that makes up for it for me. And I love the fact that, there was, like I said earlier, there was nobody in the coven. Is that what you call it? The coven?
No, that's for witches.
So is it the convent?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that right?
I think so.
House for nuns, the convent. Anyway, so love that fact. To the witch burning, God, I actually didn't mind the blood, the blood thing. I thought
the Jesus blood.
And I guess what makes that part for me is Valak's facial expressions. When she's got her and she thinks everything's amazing, and then takes that look over that blood, and is like, she gets that oh shit moment herself. Like I really was digging that. But I do absolutely hope that the Nun 2 is a little bit, like you hit it just right. We've got enough backstory for Valak. We got that. The base is set. Let's go a little bit. I don't think we're going to get balls to the wall, Michael, but if we can get a little bit of that'd be cool.
It's a little faster of a pace.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get, we're not going to get Halloween kills. We're not, but
right.
They need to pick it up. And if I'd be surprised if they don't know that. And then, like I said, with Bonnie Aaron's, her exact words saying that it's going to blow the other Conjuring movies out of the water. How do you not have your hopes up after that? So I'd be shocked if it doesn't impress us. So yeah.
Okay. And one thing that we neither one of us touched on when we talked about the Nun, that something that really stuck out to me in that movie too was when the priest is looking down the hallway, and it has like 6 or 7 of the nuns are standing there with the black faces, and they all look over at him at the same time.
Yeah.
I thought that was freaking slick, man. Just the way that looked, I thought that was absolutely freaking fantastic, for sure. Russell's in the chat saying, I just want to say, Michael, Star Wars Clone Wars, the animated TV series, is good, and it gave a lot of Darth Vader teases in it. Sorry for getting off topic, but you wanted to know. Thank you, Russell. I'll never, well done.
No worries.
Yeah, for sure.
The Nun has atmosphere for days. It has atmosphere for days.
I mean, it does when it does, and then okay. And another scene too that I really liked in the Nun that isn't talked about a lot is when the priest gets buried. And if that bell wasn't up there, you know what I mean? She had to dig him up. When he's out there, and I thought that whole sequence kind of gave a little bit of put a little bit of tension into the movie, to where it's like, oh, finally, here we go. Is she gonna get him? Is he gonna die?
Yeah,
what I mean? So I did enjoy that. Derpy saying, yeah, I love how they expand on the aspects we don't really see often in these movies. Oh, for sure. I think that a lot of people in the chat too were talking about Mark Hamill and his role in the newer Chucky movie, to where a lot of people were saying, Mark Hamill, he does so well with so many things. Like Mark Hamill voice acted the Joker in Batman animated stuff for years because he's so good at it. And to have him, in that project, I feel like they kind of, when they let us down with the new Chucky, in my opinion, of course, I'm sure that there's people out there that love the new Chucky movie. But I just feel like if you're gonna have somebody like Mark Hamill, man, you got to bring your stuff. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
James is saying Chucky with a lightsaber would be cool. Would be kind of scary.
Yeah.
In the spirit of Annabelle Cult Lady when Ed Warren turns his car lights on by the graveyard. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, man. That's for sure. For sure. Let's see.
Comes Home was a
It was fun, man.
it was a
Yeah.
because I don't know why, but I guess after Creations I thought like, yeah, there's no way they're gonna be able to keep this going, and I didn't think it had a whole lot left, I guess, but man, it was a treat.
For sure. Russell is saying, I want your soul, aka the priest in Annabelle. Well, if you want the soul, you gotta pay the troll toll. Jerry Wilson is saying, love the Valak bust. Rephrase that. I love the bust of Valak. Yeah, I could see how that's.
Jerry has a sick Valak bust. Yeah.
For sure.
With the teeth and the mouth open,
He had to rephrase that one. Well done, Jerry.
Yeah. I'm hoping one day I can have a pole barn built that's just full of bust. Like, yeah, you gotta go up the ladder to go to the second floor of bust, and
Oh yeah. Derby Sister saying, how does everyone feel about the Ring movies? Because I feel like the Ring and the Conjuring are really similar. I don't know if they're super similar, but I do love the Ring movies. Well, I love the Ring. I love the original Ring. The second one's it's okay.
Man, I was impressed with the Ring 2 for a sequel.
I just felt like it was so much of the first one, and we just did it again. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, we've seen most of this.
I don't know if I can agree with that, but I'd have to watch them both again. But I was impressed with the Ring 2. Now the Ring 3, I'm not sure I even remember. I know I've seen it, but I think the Ring is one of those. There's always so much material there. But I'm a fan.
Jerry is saying, never go wrong with a pole and a bus, Matt.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
All right, so we're on number 3 at this point, right? We are down to number 3 because I have the 4 up there. So that means we are on number
3 for you, Michael.
3. That is 3 for me. Rochelle is saying the Ring is for me. Well, it's not for everybody, I suppose.
It's not.
I love Samara.
It's not.
Samara's a beast. Especially, being introduced to it from the, Japanese movie when that came out, The Ring U, and then seeing it again. Dude, Samara's a beast.
There's a lot of movies where your passion for them makes me. I want to watch them. I'd love to watch The Ring with you, Michael.
Yeah,
because you do love Samara, like you truly do.
It was just so different from anything I'd seen up until that point.
It was.
You know what I mean?
Definitely different.
It was so different, and we've talked about it in the past.
It was creepy. The Ring was creepy, dude.
How she would, and we talked about in the past how there was a lot of movies that tried to duplicate a lot of the things that the Ring did, and you brought up this point, the way that she moved, how I always talked about, I liked how she would like skip forward real fast. Yeah. And you brought it up to me, like, dude, there were so many movies that tried to duplicate what they did.
There were,
and it's true, man.
You started seeing creepy little girls everywhere, whether you're watching a cheap B or they were all over. Yeah.
And that's when you started seeing people get like really contorted and stuff like that. Like that all came from the Ring.
It really did.
It was the one. And it's just, I mean, you could even look at Stranger Things season 4. It took from the Ring. It took from the Ring.
And when you see it off with that, Michael, like the horror did, like it inspired a lot. It did. Yeah. I almost started watching because I've watched a lot of like cheap B horror movies, like I have, like that I can't remember the names of half of them, but you almost started seeing like a creepy younger girl in every other one you watched after the Ring came out, man. Yeah.
I mean, just the way that Yeah, just the way her face was hidden, dude, and it was just like, it was just, oh man, like seriously, wake up to that. You know what I mean? Wake up at that standing at the end of your bed. It's just like I'd almost be like, "Where's my Annabelle doll at that point?"
I'd almost rather see Jerry Torque. Seriously, like,
I'm telling you, man, all it's gonna cost you is a freaking line skip at Skip, man. He's laid the price out there. Lydia's made a deal with him too. He said he'll twerk if she gets one too. So you give away 2 of them. You might get 2 times of Jerry twerking action right there. Polar is saying, please smash that like button if you haven't already. Yes, please do. That definitely helps out with people seeing our channel and coming and joining us on these fun but yet crazy conversations for sure. Jerry is saying, I secretly like the Wrong Turn movies. I like the original Wrong Turn.
Dude.
OG, I'm all about it. After that, it's kind of...
Dude, it don't matter how dumb they get. I'm with you, Michael. I absolutely love the original Wrong Turn, but I'm with you. I'm with you, Jerry. I could do a Wrong Turn marathon anytime, dude. Anytime. Let's just get some hillbilly Jedediah shit going on with some inbred. Yeah, I love them. I love them. Have you seen like part 2 and 3, Michael?
I have, and literally, I think I stopped after 3. Where there were more after
and
that,
that's
right?
fair enough. But is it 2 that has Henry Rollins in it? 2 or 3 has Henry
2 or
Rollins?
one of them does. I honestly can't. Like, we could talk about Wrong Turn 1 all day. I could talk about it, but once you get to 2 and 3, they're kind of mixed up for me on which one was which because I watched them one time and I was just like, oh god.
I'm not with Saul, honestly. Like, which one's which? Like,
yeah. I mean, I can tell you which one is Spiral because I know Chris Rock was in it. But I don't know. The Horror Corner is saying, I might have seen The Ring, but I'm not positive. If you haven't, you should check it out. At least the first one.
Yeah, if you haven't, I believe the Horror Corner let me know, but this is Miles we're talking to, right, my friend? Let me know. But if you've not seen The Ring, check it out. Definitely worth a watch.
James is saying, I heard a lot about The Ring. I need to see him. Yeah, you at least need to see the first one, dude. Seriously. If you want to go on from there, I'm not responsible for anything that happens after the first one. But I do recommend definitely the first one.
And know what you're going into, James. It's not a slasher.
Yeah. I don't think she has a knife.
Wall, but it's different. It's creepy as all get out. And yeah, it's a really well-made film.
Lydia is also saying because murderous hillbillies are the best, Jerry.
They really are. Like I'm not sure who can argue with that.
Russell is saying the opening in Airplane, The Ring 3, Matt. I honestly don't even remember it, to be honest. Wasn't the Ring was Ring 3 the one where they were like showing each other the videotapes trying to stay alive? I don't even remember it at this point.
The opening in Airplane, The Ring 3. Russell, I'm sorry, I'm not sure I follow.
I don't remember that. Red is saying Samara possesses that girl is cake for me. Possesses that girl is cake. Yeah, I mean for sure. I don't really know if I agree with this, but okay. Inbreds are cool. Well,
to each his own. Jerry?
Val is saying, Jerry, Knight is doing a members watch along of Wrong Turn 2 right now.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Let's see. Derby Subderbs is saying, I love how it is based in actual Japanese culture. For sure. For sure. Val is saying, I'm loving this. General can sit back and enjoy the stream. Lydia dropping the links. Polar dropping the reminders. Loving it. Thank you, ladies. My mods are all. Val sitting back like, yeah.
That's awesome.
Well
what are you snacking on there, Val? Like,
well done.
Truly,
mods are awesome here
have
for
a
sure.
Good snack, man. What was you didn't say your number 3 yet, right, Michael?
I have not. No.
Oh, okay.
No. Polar is saying, "LOL, Val, you have trained us well, General Val. Well done, well done." All right, so we do have some more of the chats, but let's go ahead and get to our number threes, and then we'll go back into the chats and see what everybody else is talking about for sure. Number three for me is I'm going with Annabelle Creation. Watched this movie, like I said, last Friday, and I absolutely had a blast with it. You know, there are so many parts in this movie that were so cool. You know, we talked about her hiding under the stairwell. Definitely one of my, good scene. One of the scenes that I enjoyed so much. One of the scenes that did frustrate me a little bit was when she was running from the demon and she jumps in that chair, and she's just trying to go down and it ends up getting stuck. It's like, look, I don't care how messed up my legs are. If I just saw what I saw, I'm just heading it off the stairs. Like there's no way. If I cannot walk down these stairs, look, I've already got a cane. I'm just taking the L. I'm just jumping out and I'm out of there. And I'm done. She ends up getting grabbed, thrown up in the air, and then she ends up getting dropped and put in a wheelchair. And then the scene where she's sitting in the wheelchair and, the entity comes up behind her, pushes her in the barn, and then that's where she gets possessed. That's just, wow, man. Like that movie, not to mention when he's holding the cross up and his fingers are breaking backwards. Like that stuff is freaking crazy. Absolutely crazy. And again, not to keep repeating myself, but the way that it tied in Annabelle 2014, it was just fantastic for me. I love how they came full circle with that. I think they did a great job with that. What are you thinking about for number three, Matt?
I have nothing to say. I have absolutely nothing to say.
That's why I tried to limit what I said, because I had a feeling.
It's Annabelle Creations, and that's
I had
okay,
a feeling.
man. That's okay. But dude, man, you're talking movies I thoroughly enjoy now, man. I've seen Creations probably 8-9 times. It's actually become a go-to for me. Like if I am not sure what to watch, if I have someone over that you want to watch a horror movie, it's like let's check out Creations, dude. You'll love it. It's so good. And one thing I'll add to that part with the fingers breaking. What's really cool that happens before that is, you get that girl coming in singing that song that he knows, and then she disappears into into the shadow. You see the eyes. Then she grows about 12 feet, which would have me pissing myself. And you realize the force that is Malphus is there. And then the fact that, this is... I take a lot away from that scene. I feel like, because let's face it, with The Conjuring, the way you're going to battle these demons is, like they referred to a few times, as having true faith. And I feel like this man has been beaten down so much with losing his daughter, this, that, and the other. I feel like at that point his faith was not that strong, and that's why Malphus was able to, and this could be just complete speculation, but I feel like that scene's a lot deeper than we think, and that's the reason why Malphus was able to literally destroy him like easily. They come back and he's stone cold dead. He Malphus annihilated him. I think he was a beaten down man at that point. So, but yeah, there's just so many epic scenes in that.
And what about what he did to the wife?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's what I love, because those are those holy shit moments that I love in horror. Like, she's freaking literally just ripped in two and crucified on the wall. Like that's the stuff I love, where you're not expecting that, and some people might even say the brutality is like a little over the top, and that's what I love. I absolutely love it. There's so many great scenes, and the entire cast of that orphanage, the chemistry of those girls, the chemistry of those two girls is something to see in its own. Like, just love it. And
let's not forget the Sackhead Scarecrow. I was like, oh shit, Sackhead Jason's in there. And he looks over when they're in the truck. I'm like, oh, you done released another beast right here. Look at this guy, man.
It's got and him up there in the rafters and hitting that light and everything.
Yep.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Creations is so good. It's so good. You know, my not too long ago, my girlfriend had seen the original Annabelle, and it was not a huge fan, you know. And I was like, "That's okay." I said, but I kept saying, "You got to check out Creations.
Right.
You've got to check out Creations. Don't just see that one and stop." And so we did. We got around to it, and I'm pretty sure it changed your mind about the whole Annabelle franchise there. But yeah.
They, like I said, they tied in really nicely.
They did. They
pulled it all together.
And they did.
The horror corner is saying, "Yeah, I'm Miles."
Yeah, man. It's great to see you back on here, Miles. Absolutely great to see you on here, my friend. Yeah.
Russell is saying part 2 had Henry Rollins, Matt. All right.
I thought so. Thank you, Russell, for clearing that up. And dude, who doesn't want to see Henry Rollins in like a cheesy part 2 hillbilly horror movie? Like, he was perfect for that role. Like,
yeah.
Are they fantastic after the original? No, but I'll do a wrong turn marathon with anybody.
Yeah, I think I'm busy that day. And all
that's
fine.
That's
stuff
fine.
going on.
That's
sure.
fine.
Miles is saying, "Yes, I love Annabelle creation." And Polar is saying the rocking chair. Yeah, dude, rocking chairs in general. You know what I mean? Like, it just no. And that's funny because at my mother's house, she has a rocking chair on her front porch, and I'm like, "Do we really need that?" She's like, "Well, I like to sit in it sometimes." I'm like, "But do you though? Like, do we really need this?" I don't dig rocking chairs.
Now, speaking of chairs in general, I just heard today, Michael, and this is something that you might be interested in. You might have known, but I heard that the wheelchair from that famous Friday the 13th Part 2 wheelchair kill.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that wheelchair is in the remake somewhere down in his like.
It is.
I didn't know that. Did you know that?
Yeah, I can point that out to you. It is. Okay. Yes.
I just heard that today, and I was like,
because I was down in his little tunnel. Yeah,
I didn't know that. And I, from what they say, that's the actual legit prop from that film. Like,
that's awesome. But yeah, it is. It's down there.
That's awesome.
It is. I'll find it and send you the clip and point it out.
Easter eggs in horror are awesome. Like,
yeah. Of course. Polar is also saying that little girl shooting her toy gun into the hallway and she catches. Nope, I'm out. You know that you put that best. Nope, I'm out. Like that for me. 100%.
That string starts raising.
Yeah.
Because Malphus is 15 feet tall. Like, dude, I'm gone. I'm gone. That was such a good scene.
Yep.
And it's even one where when she starts playing with it, something's
gonna happen.
Right.
Yep.
But it's still in the what about the footsteps that come?
Yeah.
And they go into the bottom bunk, it's like
she looks down there and Annabelle's laying in the no, dude. No. I am bouncing out of there 100%. I'm telling you.
Get a good night's sleep with that bullshit going on.
Miles is saying, "What do you need? Your soul." At the moment, she knew she messed up, and that's true. And that's true. And I just can't. Being the big Always Sunny fan that I am, every time I see Soul, I just keep thinking about the troll. You got to pay the troll toll. I don't know. I'm twisted. There's something wrong with me. Jerry is saying, "Polar, then something gets on the bottom bunk. How would you sleep? How would you sleep? There's no way. I'm not going to sleep.
Not on that top bunk. Hell no.
I'm leaving. Like, I don't care what ailments I have. They are going to be secondary at that point. I am out of that freaking house." The opening reminds me of Pet Sematary. Knew we were in for something wild. Yeah, when that girl gets hit by that car. Yeah, that's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
That's classic Stephen King, dude. He knows how to freaking draw you in like a just a master.
Good God. Bringing up the Scarecrow too. For sure. Val is saying Sackhead Scarecrow. That's what I'm talking about. Just reminded me of old Sackhead for sure. Derpy starts saying, don't remind me of that Scarecrow. This is so cool yet so freaky. And I'm pretty sure Jerry's saying, I'm available, Matt. I'm pretty sure he's talking about to watch Wrong Turn and not to twerk for you. Although he could mean either. I'm not really sure. Lydia's saying, you got to pay the troll to get in the... Do you watch It's Always Sunny, Lydia? Let me know.
She does. She totally
dude,
does.
You need to get Matt to watch It's Always Sunny and actually sit down and watch it. The Shape, James is saying, was the wheelchair in that one when the dude got the machete sunk in his brain pan? Are you talking about from Friday 2, where Matt was talking about the wheelchair that was in down in Jason's
correct
little hiding area?
Correct.
It was right next to the bells.
Correct.
So,
the wheelchair, I hate those bells. The wheelchair from the scene in part 2, James, where it's my favorite kill. You know, the machete to the face and then just send that guy down the steps. But yeah, I didn't know that. But I heard today that the wheelchair comes up in the remake 2009. Like it's somewhere down in his tunnels by the bells, apparently.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So that's cool. I love Easter eggs.
Right, Matt, sir. Let's hit up number 2.
Let's do it.
Number 2 for me, I'm going to stick with the number 2, and I'm going to go with The Conjuring 2. The introduction of Valak. The time in England. I had a blast with this movie. I absolutely love this movie. This is probably the one movie out of this whole universe, you know, all of these movies that I watched the most out of them. And it was just it's just so much fun. Like this movie's a blast. You know, I don't want to talk too much about it, Matt, because I know that you have some stuff to say about it too.
Talk your head off, man.
But it's just like, you know, let's start from the beginning. Start from the beginning then. We're going to start this at Amityville. You remember?
Let's just talk about it together.
Yeah.
It's my number 2.
You
we all know that.
Well done. You know, you start off in Amityville. You know, you remember at the end of part 1, they're like, hey, we need you to check out this place in New York. You know what I mean? You already knew. Like, you're sitting there in the theater like, hey, they're talking about Amityville. You know what I mean?
That was great.
That's where they start. And then they pan out in the opening scenes. You know, the camera rolls back and you've got the 2 windows. You immediately know what that is just because of those 2 windows up there. You know, and they're sitting around, they're doing their little thing, and they go through the whole, you know, Amityville scenario with the shotgun and everything. And I thought that the way that they did that was freaking fantastic.
It was.
And then slowly after you see Valak for the first time. And, you know, I'm like, dude, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Like, that's Valak. My first impression of Valak was, holy shit, look at this. You know, and the way The Conjuring does so well with the subtle things of seeing something in a mirror and then turning around and it not being there and then looking back in the mirror and it's there, turning back, it's not there, looks back again and it's right in her freaking face, dude. Like, I mean, dude, I can go on for days about this movie. You talk about where Valak's standing in the hallway and Lorraine's daughter's like, who's that? And you're just like, oh my God, dude.
Like, great.
Are you
question.
Freaking serious? And then you get the whole montage of, you know, the shadow walking behind the painting and the hands
with that
coming
music,
out.
with that music,
and just running forward, dude. Come on.
With that music, man. Valak's music with the choir, dude, is like, oh, dude, chilling. It's chilling.
And it's too, dude, like that whole sequence of her screaming, "What's your name?" And then at the end where she's like, you know, I do know your name, and knowing your name gives me dominion over you. And she said, you are Valak. And she goes into her whole spiel, and it's just like, yeah, dude, it's just like, oh my God, it's so good. And the way they put that sequence together, dude, and you know how much I love Vera Farmiga. Like, come on, man. It's this movie. And, you know, I remember when this movie came out, a lot of people were like, it's not that good. You know, and I'm just like, did we watch different movies? I
didn't know that. I didn't know people were
saying did we watch different movies? Because I had a blast in the theater. You know, like, what were your first thoughts about this, Matt? Like, when you saw this for the first time?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that because it's hard to even say to this day. But when I watched it in the Michael, I'm a weird cat, man. I'm a weird dude. Sometimes movies take me a minute because I believe when I saw it in the theater, I was just like, yeah, you know, I just thought it was okay. And now I watched it with uh, someone who was not into horror, so I kind of felt like I was, dragging someone along, kind of thing. So it's a movie that grew on me like crazy. But no, to be completely honest, I try to always stay, completely true to my guns. When I first saw it, I didn't have this, this is the best movie ever. But that's how I feel now, man. But it's a movie that it took a while, but it just started. It grew every time I watched it. Down to the what's Bill Wilkins was amazing. That whole character. Him being this pawn and the crooked man. Dude, there's so much about this movie. But yeah, I know I probably shocked you there. But yeah, the first time I watched it, I was not like, holy shit, man. But it could have had a lot to do with, like I said, watching it with, not a horror fan and, feeling like I'm forcing somebody to watch a movie and,
But I'll tell you what, man, why did they have that little fort in the hallway? I'm like, that's a horrible idea for a Conjuring movie. Like, the kid, it's like, oh, something bad's going to happen with that. I know that when I saw it, I was just
that where you go back to the kids in these Conjuring movies, it's where do they find this talent? They're phenomenal, man. They're phenomenal. I love those girls. I loved those girls. I'd go as far as I don't remember seeing child actors at that level, that the Conjuring brings in, man. They're so relatable. They're so
believable.
They're believable. They're real.
Their dialogue, all of that, their reactions. It's great, man.
Yeah. The mom was real.
Yeah.
The mom was real. I haven't seen a mom that real until Terrifier 2. That mom, you felt her struggles, single mom with all this bullshit going on. Like Conjuring 2 is stupid good, man.
I like it.
And then busting out Valak out of nowhere, and really you see more Valak in the Nun 2 than the Nun movie itself. So like if I ever say if I'm trying to like introduce somebody to Valak, instead of watching the Nun, I'd have them watch the Conjuring 2 first, like for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's
stupid good, Michael.
It is. It is really good. And I mean, it is one of those ones, like over the years, this is the one that I mean, we only have one movie left and we know where we're going with that.
I actually am glad you said that because I'm right there with you. And I don't know why, so I love them both, but I've watched, I'd say the Conjuring 2 even has a little bit, for me, a little bit more rewatchability than the original Conjuring. And I'm not saying I like it better, but it does. It does.
There's a reason for that with me. I'll tell you the truth, because the first one scares the shit out of me. And I'm not even going to lie to you guys. And I love horror, dude, but we're getting to our number one. We know what's left, right? We know what movie's left. And I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I don't watch The Conjuring 1 as much as I watch The Conjuring 2 because The Conjuring 1 makes me feel uneasy. I'm not even going to lie to you. That is not a movie that if it's 11:30 at night, I'm going to be like, I think I'm going to watch The Conjuring 1 by myself.
Dude, Bathsheba on top of that curio cabinet or whatever you want to call it, that dresser is, oh God. That's not a shit your pants moment, man.
Whenever I talk about the original Conjuring, it's just that movie that starts off here and then it goes here and here and here. And it's like when I was in the theater watching it, it's just like, horror movies up until that point were like, you'd have something happen, then something scary would happen, and then it give you time to chill out before something else happened. and then give you time to chill out. Not The Conjuring, dude. It was just event after event after event where I'm looking at the person next to me like, holy shit, are they going to give me a minute to get this together before something else is going to happen?
Yeah, let me check my blood pressure at least.
It's like, you got to be kidding me, dude. And I knew the first time that I saw that, them playing the clapping game was going to bite them in the ass somehow. You know, granted, the trailer didn't help that out because in the trailer, it showed her with the match standing there and, you know, the hands came out and clapped. But
yeah,
it's just like, the amount of things that were happening in that movie, it just escalated and escalated and escalated to a point to where it's like, that is the one movie that when I'm sitting here by myself watching a movie and watching it, I'm just like, the hell was that? The hell was that? That movie does it to me, you know? And to me, in all honesty, The Conjuring is in my top 5 horror movies of all time.
That's so awesome to hear.
Yeah. The first Conjuring is in my top 5 of all time horror movies. It just is.
That's awesome to hear.
It is 100%.
I haven't got around to, like, you know, really where I place it as far as like all time, but that's awesome to hear, man, because it was. And what I'll say about The Conjuring is when I so I saw this in the theater actually twice, and I can count on one hand how many movies I've seen twice, you know, in the theater. But when I was watching it, I was just so pleased that I felt like I was watching like true, I even say like true old school horror. I got that feel like it, you know, they weren't doing goofy stuff. It wasn't this, you know, they weren't trying to, I don't know, man, how to say it. They weren't, you know, trying to do something super, you know, weird or, you know, this straight film camera like the Blair Witch or all that stuff or Paranormal Activity. They weren't, you know, it just felt like I felt like I was back. I felt like horror was back. Let's put it that way. I felt like horror was back. And at a time when we needed it, you know, when that, you know, we were getting just so many remakes and, you know, or part 9s, 10s, 11s. And we need something original that had potential, you know, to be a universe. And The Conjuring was it, man. The Conjuring was it. And how cool is it to go off of real life ghost hunters such as Ed and Lorraine Warren, like, and go off of their cases? Like, how cool is that? You know, I'm not even sure why it took so long to get to that. And, you know, that's a whole nother topic on its own. Like, you know, what you think about their cases and everything, but whether you believe them or not, they're fascinating, and it's cool to let your mind go there. You know, yeah. You know, whether you 100% believe in it, partially believe, or you think they're full of complete bullshit, but you it's cool to go there and see what they did investigate. And I'm down. I hope The Conjuring 4 comes back with a bang. I really do, because they got so much potential. You know, we've seen it over and over again. I hope The Conjuring 4 comes back with a bang, but yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And yeah, dude, like, this list was definitely, I knew my number one. You know, I already knew it. You know, and trying to move some of these around, you know, to make sure they fell in the right places. I feel really confident about where I put everything. I would like to watch The Conjuring 3 again, you know, just because it was a one-time watch for me. It's not like it was 10 years ago though. You know, it was
right.
It was 2 years ago. So
I'll watch it with you, Michael. I can watch that movie. Like I said, I've seen it 3 or 4 times.
Right.
And I stand by that. I feel like if it was not in the Conjuring universe, we'd be like, damn, check out this movie, you know, telling our buddies about it. It's pretty cool. But it's just a weak link for an amazing franchise. You know, it's like,
yeah.
That's what it is. But I'm definitely hoping that the Conjuring 4, I don't want to see them go further down. Like, I just don't want to say about 4, like, it, you know, I don't want to put part 3 above 4. Like, I want them to bounce back. Like they know how to do it, man. Like we've touched on that the things they do with the they're looking in the mirror, they're there, they're not, how good the talent is that they find for these movies. They've got the material, man. And all the cases that the Warrens have studied, the material's there.
Yeah.
This is a whole other topic, but I'd like to know what people think. Like, what do some people feel that maybe The Conjuring 3 was rushed? Do they need to? I don't know. I could be wrong on that. Were they just trying to keep it going, bust them out? Did they rush it? Did they need to slow down, pull back, do their research? And I don't know, but
I don't know. I'm gonna
thinks that.
I'm gonna go ahead and check it out again, and I'll let you know what I think. But I think that the way I felt after I watched the first time, I think that they wanted to try like something different. You know what I mean? To just be like, well, we've done demons 2 times in a row. Let's see what happens with this direction. And sometimes that works, and then sometimes
yeah. Like you said, it's easy for us to sit on our ass, and like,
right. So, and they'll be like, I didn't like that.
Why did they do this? It's but
for sure.
Let's try. Let's try Witches. And it's not a terrible film, man. It's not.
Jerry is asking, what is your number 1 of all time? I'm assuming you're saying horror. And Jerry, I really can't answer that one off the fly. I definitely really have to think about that one to give you a solid answer and it not change in like 2 weeks, because you really start to. I mean, there's a lot of movies, dude, that are really good, and to say that this was the best one all time, I can't even answer that right now. But I will tell you this: I know that the original Conjuring is in my top 5. 100% sure on that.
I'll give you my answer, Jerry, and it's also I'm with Michael. It is a hard thing to say, and they can change. They can, but where I'm at right now, my favorite of all time is Rob Zombie's Halloween. Is mine. I know that floors a lot of people. That's okay.
I thought you were going to say The Exorcist, to be honest with you.
Gosh, damn it, Michael! It's right there.
I honestly thought you were. I was like, well, he's going to say The Exorcist, but
it's right there. Christine is way up there. Christine's in my top 1.5.
It's just not.
You know what I'm saying, dude? It's so hard to say. But like when people always like, I'll say something I've always said. Like when it comes to favorite movies, what I say off the rip is, and actually, The Exorcist isn't in there, but it's. I always say Predator, Christine, and Rob Zombie's Halloween. Those are 3 of my favorite movies. And then if I got to go with a 4, I'm probably going to say Exorcist.
It's I can't even break that down in my mental right now.
I'll go a little further. I'll say, and like I've touched on this with you, Michael. It's not like I'm saying what Rob's, his Halloween wasn't like just that it was this so amazing, but I was so thrilled at that time when it came out, because I just never thought one of my favorite movies was going to get a remake. And then also at that time, one of my favorite, heavy metal artists. So a lot of that goes in there too, just how thrilled I was about that. And then,
I mean, I think I'd be a little reserved if it's my situation. Like if somebody told me Pink Floyd was going to make Halloween, I'd be like, what the hell does Pink Floyd know about Halloween? They need to stick to singing songs. You know what I mean? Or if they were like, yeah, Led Zeppelin's going to make the next. Dude, Led Zeppelin needs to sing Stairway to Heaven and keep his ass away from that Michael Myers mask. Like there's no way. I don't want whatsoever.
I was the opposite. I was like, hell yeah. I was game, man. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to get to the theater for it, and then it did not disappoint. But I'm opposite when I look at Michael. The way you do, and I so understand the way you look at him. But I was okay getting the backstory. I was okay, with all that. I didn't have that super attachment to he's the shape. We don't know the unknowing. I didn't have that attachment to it. So, but if I did, I would totally hate Rob Zombie's Halloween, because it shits on that.
Polar is saying the Conjuring trailer is the scariest trailer I've ever seen. My heart was pounding watching it for the first time. It was bad. Yeah. I mean, that was definitely number one, scared the crap out of me, said James. Yeah, dude. Like, seriously.
And dude, I would say out of the entire universe we just covered, hands down, the scariest part is Bathsheba up on top of that freaking cabinet, dude.
You weren't ready for it,
dude.
Like,
No, dude.
Nothing
And her little
leading up
smile
to
she's
something
got, or
like
whatever
that
it
happening,
is,
dude. The little girls. I was creeped out by the girl banging her head on the freaking closet. Like, you got to be freaking kidding me. And then the way she sits up like Michael Myers in Halloween 1, like, sits right up and looks up, and
dude,
the camera pans up as she looks up.
Andre the Giant naked.
Like, come on, dude.
There's
There's no way.
No way. No. I would rather watch Jerry twerk.
Jerry, I'm thinking he's wanting that, so you might be getting that line skip to meet Cocaine Bear. I'm telling you. Derby is a dirt saying for me, definitely Conjuring 1, even though Conjuring 2 is really good. Conjuring 1 is just unbeatable. I agree with you 100%. Might be giving up one of those line skips. I'm telling you. Jerry is saying, Lydia, the Crooked Man did look amazing. Yeah, the Crooked Man was crazy.
You know what? Yes, he did, but you know how they were talking about a Crooked Man like movie? I don't know if he can carry a movie.
Not a chance.
I don't know if the Crooked Man can carry a movie, but I liked him for his role in his part, because there for a while I was excited. I started really thinking about it. I just don't know. Hopefully I'm wrong. I don't know. But they were making, they were going to make the Crooked Man movie.
Yeah.
The reason they didn't was the popularity of the Nun from Conjuring 2. So they put it on hold and decided to make the Nun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to do some research.
I don't think that the Crooked Man can. That's just me. But then again, who am I? I'm just an idiot in front of his computer with a microphone.
Yeah,
right?
man. Hopefully we are wrong, but I'm with you, Michael. I like the Crooked Man, but I don't know if it can carry a movie.
Third piece of dirt saying, I don't believe in ghosts, but the Conjuring still scared me shitless. You ain't lying. Jesus.
And that's back to what I was saying. Like, even like, whether you are a believer, you're not a believer, you believe in everything the Warrens say, or you think they're the biggest freaking frauds of all time. It's still fun to go down that path of, maybe, who knows? But hell, maybe we'll do a show about that sometime, about, the Warrens and what everyone thinks, because it's an interesting topic. It's a very interesting topic.
I mean, it's definitely one of those shows that would definitely, a lot of research would have to go into that.
Yeah, and draw controversy
but I think it could be fun.
I do too.
I do, definitely. Polar is saying James Wan is the GOAT. It's hard to argue that. He has done some cool
I love
shit.
hearing that from you, Polar, because, dude, I'm a James Wan fan, dude. James Wan fan. And his Malignant was amazing. And different. And I'm not usually all over the whole, like, wacky ideas, but, dude, he nailed that movie. It was, James Wan's a beast, dude. Beast.
Derby so Dirks is saying, just general horror, then the OG Alien is their number one horror movie. And
no one's hating on that. No. I know Michael's not hating on that.
I love Alien. That shit is fucking awesome. Polar is also saying the third just seemed extremely exaggerated with the witches in the underground tunnels. And that's I just feel like that goes back to what we were talking about of them wanting to try something different, and sometimes it pans out, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, the perfect example of that was, Halloween Ends wanted to do something different. In some cases, people absolutely loved it. Some people think it's okay, and some people absolutely hate it.
Wasn't the time to try something different. Right. It was a time to end that franchise. It just wasn't a time. It wasn't the time.
Polar is also saying, I love Christine. Christine was a good movie. Sure.
Polar, man, I knew I liked you.
Derps is saying followed by Child's Play. Alien to Child's Play. Child's Play is good too.
And see where I struggle with Alien. I love Alien, but I thoroughly enjoy Aliens. It's one of those sequels that I think, in my opinion, blew the original out of the water. I do love Alien, but Aliens was just so good. But that whole concept is amazing. Don't get me started on Predator and Aliens. I'm all about that.
Lydia is saying Scream Until the Day I Die.
And that's awesome. Like,
oh yeah.
For some of the younger generation, that was the first, a horror film a lot of them saw, and it was so different. It was actually so different. The first time I watched it, I didn't care for it. I guess maybe it was too different. I didn't take it in for what it was. I was expecting what I had seen. I was expecting, I guess, a Halloween and it's not a Halloween movie. It's not a Friday the 13th. It's its own film. But Scream was epic.
Derpy of Derps is saying Scream is probably fourth for me, dude. I love how you guys can just throw these together. Like I would need.
Well, he did say
time.
probably because it is hard, man.
I'd love that you guys can just be like, this is it. This is it for me, and that says great things about you guys, that you know what you like. You know what I mean? And that's cool as shit. Like, seriously. Polar is saying Scream is my number 1. Number 2 is Descent, and then The Conjuring. Those are top. That's a good 3 for sure.
Oh, Polar! I just watched The Descent and The Descent 2, and some people were asking me about when I was watching The Descent 2 what I thought about it, and I liked it, man. I liked it. But the first Descent was, dude, creepy as shit. You've seen The Descent, right, Michael?
I have. It's definitely a good movie.
Okay. Did you see part 2?
No.
It's good. It's Michael. Give it a shot. It's good, and it's got more jump scares in it than actually the original Descent. Like, dude, I was jumping all over the place. But, dude, The Descent, that creeps me the hell out, dude. I'm claustrophobic as hell.
Yeah.
But some of those scenes, watching the guy, people go through those little small tunnels and shit. For me, that's scarier than the freaking creatures coming at them. Like, dude,
yeah,
don't put me in that situation. Like, I would never put myself in that situation, but something about caves, man. And if you got to crawl somewhere and nothing is around you but like rock, no.
I'm claustrophobic as it is, so I wouldn't.
Dude, me too, dude.
Russell is saying Halloween 1978 is my number 1, dude. That's definitely not a bad pick.
No one's hating on that, Russell.
Derpy is saying my 3rd is Halloween 2018. God, I love that movie.
All right, dude. Derbyist has got it all.
They got it figured out. Polar is saying Dream Warriors is up there too. Dream Warriors.
That's Nightmare 3. That's Nightmare 3. Okay.
It is.
Nightmare 3 is fun. Nightmare 3 is just, I think it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. James is saying, watch out for Crackoon and Cocaine Crab.
Crackoon and Cocaine.
Crackoon is a real movie.
Is it really?
It is.
Oh, wow.
It is. Unfortunately, it is. Lydia is saying, I would love a cocaine raccoon movie or a cocaine squirrel. Oh my God. You guys are freaking crazy. But she did go ahead and add that Matt might be able to contribute some ideas for cocaine squirrel. I think sure.
Apparently, I'm gonna get my ass kicked by one, and I can just document everything. Like,
yeah, I definitely don't want it.
Wow.
You guys, this one was so fun. This was so fun to come and hang out. And, of course we did our rankings, but, I definitely like the streams where we get into just conversations and, bullshitting. And it's just so much fun hanging out with you guys. And I had a great time tonight for sure. mean, I didn't expect this one to go, almost 2.5 hours, but time flies when you're having fun, you guys.
Yeah, I absolutely love you guys and the chat and the horror community. If I don't say that enough, I mean that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Always a
So,
pleasure to be on here with you, Michael.
hell yeah, dude, definitely, most definitely. Hopefully next week I'm not staying up till 7 o'clock in the morning watching fights all night. The night before, it kind of threw me for a loop. We watched UFC fights last night. I get home and I realized that Spence fought Crawford in boxing last night, so I had to watch that when I got home too. If you are a boxing fan, that that was a ridiculous fight last night.
I'll have to try to check that
Oh,
out.
dude,
Check the highlights or something.
Yeah, definitely check that one out for sure. But
and on that note, if you're a UFC fan, Justin Gaethje did win by head kick knockout, and he has the BMF title around his waist now. So that's awesome.
you were so excited.
Yeah.
I was like, I wish I cared that much. Seriously. But this was a blast. Again, we'll be back next weekend for sure. Definitely, I already have the thumbnail up, so join me on Tuesday. We are watching Hot Tub Time Machine. If you haven't watched Hot Tub Time Machine on Tuesday, there will be a watch party for Hot Tub Time Machine. The thumbnail is already up. Go over and drop me a like for that one. And look, guys, Hot Tub Time Machine, when you want to talk about favorite movies of all time, when you get into the comedy section, I absolutely love Hot Tub Time Machine. So that'll be Tuesday at 8. Thursday at 8 will be the Dylan's New Nightmares spoiler-free review and Mad Monster review. I will go live for about an hour on Thursday and talk about those. But definitely go over to the channel and drop me a like. Make sure that you leave a comment after this stream ends down at the bottom. It helps out the channel. And if you haven't hit that like button, please hit that like button for me. And if you are interested in Patreon, go over to patreon.com/moviesandbeyond. You won't be disappointed. It's definitely a blast over there. And Matt, again, dude, another great night talking horror with you, my friend, and all of these great people out here for sure.
You said it best, man. My pleasure again. Love you guys. And till next time.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.